Okay, call the meeting to order. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Welcome to the regularly scheduled commissioners meeting, Pipestone County. Present are Luke Johnson, Commissioner, Doug Nagle, Commissioner, myself, Alan Frostgate, Commissioner, Steve Ewing, County Administrator, Gary Menace, County HR. Is there any adjustments to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I have one under the other business civil commitment transportation costs. Sheriff Freeman will come down about 9:30 after Wayne's done, and we can have a little discussion on that. No action needs to be done, just information for the board.
Okay.
Come down for that.
Any other warrants or?
No, sir. Have no add-ons today.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Support, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, carried. And moving on to the consent agenda, approve the minutes of 10/8/24, approve commissioners warrants, approve auditors warrants of 10/11/24, 10/18/24, and approve hospital warrants of $969,885.14.
Jared, move for approval.
Thank you. Is there support?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Carried. Mr. Nick Bergman, Highway Engineer. Morning, Nick.
Good morning.
Morning. Whole lot going on for me today. First up, I'd like permission to order a frame for that pup trailer I talked about a few weeks ago that broke. It probably needs to come out of service. So we got this quote from Towmaster. That's the only quote I got. It's a Towmaster box, so it's kind of like ordering Ford parts for a Chevy. It just doesn't work. So we had to stick with that brand, but I think that's a good price. I'd like to put it on the box from that pup that got totaled a few years ago. That's one of the things we bought that back. That's one of the things we saved off of it. So, I mean, I think this is a great way to get into a really nice pup for pretty reasonable money. So, as you look down here also, I kind of gathered a summary of what we have for pups. So the old ones, we've updated a couple. So yeah, it was about time for that one anyway, but hitch failure sped it up for me a little bit. So it is I think it's a 2025 budget item, so we can order it so that it doesn't come in or whatever until 2025.
Did they say how long it'd take, Nick?
Didn't sound like very long once we got on the list. I was kind of surprised with that. I thought we'd have to wait 6 months to a year or something, but no, it only sounded like a couple, 2-3 months out or something like that at the time for that item.
Before spring, anyway.
Yes, we should be up and running before spring. So yeah, that'd be good.
I'll make motion to approve the trailer chassis purchase.
Okay, is there support for that?
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That carried.
All right, next up, I just wanted to give you an update. We did get that shouldering machine for the reserve of $1,500, so probably saw in the warrants, there's a check being printed for that, so as soon as we get the check, we'll bring it over there and pick it up, so it's good news for us. Next item for me would be the Highway 75 update on the signs. MnDOT is available on January 14th, so they'll be down that meeting to answer questions on the signs. So next item, I got a call complaint on County Road 17. We always have dust complaints there. They said it's even worse now, and I replied something to the effect of, well, all of our roads are really bad right now. So I don't know what, if anything, we could or should be doing. I don't even know if dust control would work anymore. with how
Pray for
cluttered the
rain.
road- Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
There's dust all over.
Yep,
Any gravel road you go on.
yep. So I did say I would pass the concern along. It's a little different than normal, but I don't know what else we do about it, so.
At least it's fresh dust.
Right.
Fresh gravel dust.
Okay,
It depends what the wind's doing that day, right?
well, that makes a big difference, yeah.
A huge difference, yeah.
So. Couple other little items, in the past, we've sent our new blade operators to a, like a training, 1 day training thing, I believe. It sounds about good summary, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's sometimes there was a guy that would come here,
Yep.
but I don't know the situation anymore, but
So we did track that guy down again. We have a number of new operators and our floater guy has interest in the blade. So, he'll come here for a day, so I planned on booking that, I guess. I think that's November 8th or something, so that's nice that he'll come here and do everybody at once, so. Yeah, so just wanted to give you an update that there'll be a bill on that. And then we have a ribbon cutting tentatively scheduled for, I think it's November 4th. I was gonna call Dan out on it, but I see he's not here today. I think it's a Monday. I'll try to send something out. There wasn't many days that worked for everybody and that was one of them, so that's a little close to, I don't know if it'll quite make strength yet, but, we'll cast some extra cylinders and we'll try that, but either way. Dan called me, he was at the chamber for something, so we got that all squared away with them, but
That's for the bridge by Island.
yes. I'll have to get that date. I think it's November 4th at 11:30,
11:30.
if I remember right, but I'll have to get that date to Steve and he can forward that, but, so just put a question mark by that. I'm not quite, can't remember exactly what that date was. I have it written down, but don't remember right offhand. So then, I guess the last item for me would be the bid opening at 10:30. So I'll probably stick around waiting for contractors to drop bids off, but, side note, I know we've talked about electronic bidding before. Was at a district meeting a week or two ago and sounds like we are one of 2 or 3 counties in our district that doesn't do it. There's, so, it's what, 9 other counties that do it. MnDOT does it. I'm to the point where I feel comfortable that the bugs are worked out of it and I feel good migrating over to that. So, that's something I'm gonna look into and recommend doing in the future here. I gotta learn a little bit more about it first, but, one of the problems that the contractors face is these suppliers undercut each other up until the last minute. See them sitting in their parking lot, while they're waiting for their phone to ring, maybe the supplier will undercut the other one and then they gotta try to change your bid at the last minute. But sometimes these changes don't get made and, we could have had a lower bid, but they didn't have time to change their bid, so. This way they can sit in their office and answer the phone and just punch the numbers into the program and hit submit, so then we do, we get that better price, so. So I'm to the point where I think we need to do it and I'll be recommending that in the near future, so just wanted to give you a heads up, so. So, other than that, deck pour on the Stone Arch Bridge tomorrow, so. That's good, getting real close to the end, so. Other than that, that's all I have until 10:30. Any other questions for me?
The deck gonna be concrete? Good.
You said they're pouring the deck tomorrow?
It's, deck, pavement slab, whatever you want to call it, I guess, but, we didn't change anything on the bridge. It's gonna be concrete over the bridge instead of bituminous. After talking about it with the structural specialists and whatnot, we think that's the way to go. It'll distribute the load better on that, should extend the life of it a little bit. And mainly, I don't want a milling machine on top of it, so by having this concrete slab, we don't have to worry about it, so.
Was there any question on the difference in weights, like asphalt to concrete? And I'm sure somebody figured that out, but.
They weren't worried about it when I asked. I wouldn't even know where to start calculating that.
Okay.
But, you know, we have so Bolton and Mank is the consultant engineer for that. They subbed out part of it to like a masonry arch specialist guy. So he's,
Looked at that, but.
yeah, I wasn't
I
even gonna
just-
bother. It's like, you got that guy on staff. I'm not gonna waste.
Big difference there, but.
Yeah, there would be, I would think there would be some, but I suppose with how it, you know, a concrete slab versus bituminous, it distributes it differently. So
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
they use some fancy modeling thing from Europe and I don't know, whatever, like, yeah. They,
No, that's
I
fine.
wasn't gonna question them. They explained it
They-
like, yeah. I'm
They know
told,
what they're
so,
doing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just the total loads that are different from the thirties to now, you know.
Yep.
In the thirties, the biggest thing was over there was 10,000 pounds probably.
yep. And when we did the bridge to the north of there, they needed to move their big crane and drill in there. And that was, I don't remember how heavy that was, but it was really, really heavy. And we sent that off to the same person to approve it over that bridge. And he said, yep, no problem.
No
So,
problem.
like,
Over-engineered for the time.
oh, way.
Yeah.
Way over. So. So,
Any other
Right.
questions for Nick?
all right, well, I'll hang around here in case the bid shows up. But otherwise, yeah, good till 10:30, so.
10:30 was the reason because of mail delivery.
Mail,
If you electronic, we won't have to.
we don't have to do that anymore, correct?
That would be one benefit.
That would be a benefit, yep. And I don't know exactly how it works, but I think you can have a live opening so anybody can log in and see the program populate the results, but I could almost do that on like Thursday. Or some, just for example, maybe Thursday at noon they're due, and then I can review them all for like imbalanced bids or this other stuff we check. And then I could have it in my packet, you know, by the time that goes out on Friday and then it's been reviewed by us and everything. So then we just briefly talk about it at the meeting and officially award it. So yeah, it would save us some time that way too. Yep. So, all right, well,
Thanks, Nick. Mr. Wayne.
Wayne,
Morning, Wayne.
Morning.
Okay, I got a bid for leaf filter for keeping the leaves in the, well, it's mainly pine needles out to that government building. I did check with some other companies. They haven't gotten back to me at all. And then I watched a review on it. This is the best company. These are guaranteed for life. You put them on and they're even a transfer warranty. So if you did sell the building, whoever buys the building can take the warranty over. And it's a lifetime warranty on them. But it was $7,845. It kind of sounds spendy, but the only thing is with our tile out there, we do not want it to get that plugged up.
You don't want the leaves to go into the tile and,
It's mainly pine needles.
yeah.
That's what it is. Yep.
That probably was one of my questions. Wayne was the second bid, but you think they're just not gonna bid or?
Well, then for apples, when I watched this video, there was a guy that had all of them on a house. He left them on there for 6 months and took them off, and this is the only one that kept the stuff out.
Oh, okay.
By watching that too, that this is worth it.
And where would this money be coming from? What budget or?
building and plant.
Yeah,
That budgeted or?
no, it's not.
Budget is a guide. And if we don't do this, we'll spend more money trying to clean out the tile lines
Later
and the
on.
pump
Right.
and all that. So, cause it
Yeah.
won't go to the drain, then we'll have overflowing gutters.
And
And
we did have
there,
that
if
this
you,
spring.
you know that there are lots of trees, leaves, pine needles out there. It's a shelter belt in there, so it. And when you get winds from the west and the northwest, especially this time of year, the gutters are probably already getting full of leaves right now.
Yep. And they do clean them
It's-
out before they install new too.
Yeah.
They clean them when they install them.
Clean them.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve.
Thank you. Is there support?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Carried.
Okay. Got anything else you wanna ask?
You gonna call them up and have them come?
Yes. They'll get it done yet this fall.
Good.
Pretty quick.
Better.
Yep. They aren't that far out
Before it rains?
well, yeah. Yeah.
We've had a pretty long string without rain, but.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Personnel, Gary, you got any words of wisdom for us?
Update.
Well, you got notes and everything, so
We are fully staffed.
yay.
Have a Halloween costume contest happening next week. I have been making trophies for that, so we're having fun with that. It's open
What day is that?
enrollment.
So we can come in?
It's on Halloween day, so I just told people to send pictures.
Thursday, the 31st.
Thursday, the 31st.
What formerly was called the Wellness Committee is now the Engagement Committee. And so that committee will meet that afternoon and will review the costumes, and there's a first and second place trophy.
Work appropriate costumes.
Yeah. Poster. If I'm judging and something's inappropriate, I'm not gonna judge very high, so. It's open enrollment, so for you guys, if you just wanna send me information about what you wanna do, I'll kind of take care of it for you if you're wanting that. Seems easier. Couple other projects that I'm working on slowly. We're a little bit behind on our review process. Because reviews aren't tied to wages here, there's less sense of urgency to that, but they're still important. Working on streamlining and simplifying our structure of our review. And I have a template that I stole from another county. So I got a little bit of a blessing last week at the department head meeting. So working on that. And then our handbook, our policy manual is 101 pages long. There's a lot of weirdness in there that I don't like. And so just coming from working at SDSU and working on Department of Defense documents and things, I'm going to be working on creating a table of contents that has a numbered page instead of A1, A2. We have a lot of paragraphs, just one paragraph, and then it starts on the next page. It will all be on one. I mean, when you have it linked electronically, there's no reason to waste all that paper. So working on, that'll be another project I'll be working on. Other than that, next Monday, we have our new highway worker starting, who came from MnDOT, so we'll onboard him and we're fully staffed. So that's the updates, very informal. Any questions?
Any questions for Gary?
Think so.
Thank you for
you.
updating the policy. We're doing that at Plum Creek Library Association too, and just some things just need to be modernized, you know? And, thank you for taking that on.
Well, it drives me nuts when I see it.
We don't want to drive you
It's
nuts.
for me more than anyone.
We don't want to
but
drive you nuts.
Yeah,
It's hard to find things in it the way it's laid out. It really is. And especially if you can hyperlink it and type in, so yeah, it's gonna go a long ways.
We hate to tell you this now that we're fully staffed. Your job is out of. We don't need you anymore.
No, I'll stay
You'll
busy.
stay? Okay. Thank you.
Quick as it can be fully staffed and quick as it cannot be. Never know, but we're in really good shape right now and Carrie's been doing a great job. Appreciate her very much. Doing good. Mr. Chairman, I can kill a little time here. The District 8 meeting is Thursday at Lake Benton. And they always ask, and I'm sure you saw when you got the information out, they always ask questions. You know, each county has to provide questions on that. And the normal ones on here, what is your county's preliminary levy and what are the key drivers? So I've got that information on it. Key drivers on our levy this year, what I'm using is salaries and benefits, and then increase in the road and bridge levy for equipment and material, that type of thing. Status of union negotiations, we're in the second year, so there's nothing to talk about there, so we don't have union negotiations to deal with. This one I'd request a little bit of your input on. Had talked to Luke about it. What are our county's top legislative priorities? And one that came across from Luke was solid waste and demolition landfills. I think that'll probably be a common one there.
I would think so. That's a big one. Yeah.
Are there any others you'd like me to bring up?
The cannabis issues.
That's this next one.
Okay.
Any other legislative other than cannabis or anything like that? If not, you can always bring them, if you think of something, you can always bring them up on Thursday too, so.
Transportation funding,
Excuse me?
transportation funding.
Oh, sure, yeah, okay. Then there are questions on how is preparation for legalized cannabis coming along? Has your county passed an ordinance or a moratorium? If not, what's in the works? I'm just putting on that we're working on our ordinance now. We don't have a moratorium on it. And working on setting up the ordinance. And that will report that the only one I've heard of that's interested in having a possible cannabis store is the city of Pipestone, that they have interest on that as well. And that's all I have to report on that part of it. And then they asked, do you have a sense of the level of interest for licensed businesses in your county? And I have had no contact from anyone except I mentioned the Hatfield Roadhouse, and he wanted to do cannabis infused drinks down there. And I just forwarded him on to the state. That's the only contact I've had from anyone. Have you guys can hear anything from constituents or businesses? Okay, so.
We formed a committee. That's
Yep.
Yeah, we met like a week ago, was it?
good.
Yeah, the committee met and we drafted interim, drafted an ordinance, got copies of that, and I'll send that out to everybody. So send it to Domain as well. And he did the resolutions for the cities and the counties, or cities and the townships, to authorize the county to be the registration agent for all cannabis. I'll send that out to the townships and the cities. We'll get that back. I'll plan on having the ordinance ready for action by, like to get it done by the ready to go by our fourth meeting in November. So we have the public hearing then. We can get it done. Any other comments from you guys that were at the meeting? Or anything you want me to add? And the last one here, are there emerging issues in your county that AMC could help address through our training program? And I've been thinking about that. I don't have a good answer for that one at this point. They've got lots of different training
Yeah,
programs
they
and
do,
that type of
they do a
thing,
lot
so
now. Yeah, they
there's
do.
always things. I'll think about that a little more as well, but if you guys think of anything for that one, let me know and we'll see what we can give for them, so. So that's my update on that for the meeting on Thursday.
Sometimes the county chair gives the state of the county, would like to delegate you to do that. Is that possible?
Sure.
You did it last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
You-
Well,
That's what they're at. I mean, just the
Yeah,
questions?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
If you have anything to add at the meeting, please feel free to do so as well, so. So, open discussion up there, so.
Steve and I had a pre-meeting meeting with the chairs on Zoom last week at some point in time. Anything else about the meeting on Thursday? And
I don't have anything else about it.
You know where it is?
Yes, it's the old Legion building
Old
on the
Legion.
south end of Main Street.
The address is on that email.
Yeah. It's at 114 South Center. If you remember where that's at.
Turn by the gas station, 1 block, take left, and it's on your
Okay.
museum.
Yeah. 8 o'clock in the morning, it'll be the only building with a bunch of cars at it.
Is sheriff coming back at 9:30?
Yes. Take a quick break till he gets here.
Sure.
We're back.
We're back in session. We're going to address the civil commitment, transportation costs, and sheriff is going to discuss that with us.
Mr. Chairman, I invited Keith down to talk with us on this. I did put the letter that we'd gotten from Southwest Health and Human Services in your packet, so you have a little history on what's going on. And instead of me screwing it up and not saying the right thing, to have Keith here to make sure that I get the information right. So what's going on with it?
Well, first, I want to explain the difference between like a mental health hold and civil commit, because that gets confusing. If somebody calls and we get to their house and they're suicidal or whatever, we sign a transportation hold to bring them to the ER. Then from there, the doctor looks at them and decides they need a little extra help. They put them on a 72-hour hold. That's usually the Sioux Falls, the ambulance transferred somewhere. We're done with that at that point. Civil commit's different. That's somebody that Health and Human Services has taken to the court system. The judge has deemed they need services, long-term services, and they sign them on a civil commit. And the way it's always been, then we get a court order that says, you know, the sheriff's office will pick these people up, sometimes from the house, sometimes it's from Sioux Falls, sometimes it's from facility in Mankato, transfer them to Rochester. And we have to do that. And the sheriff's position all over the state basically is, well, we should get paid back for that. Takes 2 people usually all day that aren't scheduled. And it's been back and forth. And finally they came to the decision that, and some of the counties have even talked about suing them, and it's like, but, so I think they came to, I don't know who this board was. Came
Yeah,
to
the Southwest Health and Human Services Board. Yeah, Doug sits
agreement
on
that
that.
the sheriff's office will do this. That's their job. It just comes out of our budget instead of their budget, basically. For us, it's not a huge deal, but for some counties, it's a big issue with. So that's where we're at with it. So that's how it all came to be.
From where to where usually is it? I know it's all over the state, but is it a long trip? Is it
Usually, there's nothing close by.
nothing close by
No.
to the cities or
Cities,
Fargo?
Fergus Falls, I think, Rochester. There's a few, but there's nothing close. And we could pick them up, like I said, anywhere. They could be at home, they could be, it's a Pipestone hospital, they could be, a lot of times they're in Sioux Falls at environmental health. Then we pick them up from there and take them to wherever they can find a bed. So. which
After
is
they've
hard to
got-
do.
After they gone through the ER and then Sioux Falls,
Yeah.
and then you gotta transport them again. So
Yes. Yep. And I don't see that changing. That's just, I mean, that's a safety issue. Like a lot of times we have to have 2 people, especially if it's a female, then we always have to have 2 people.
And you have no way of knowing how many you're gonna have per year.
No way.
There's no way of knowing.
No way of knowing. I guess you can look at past histories about, it's getting, I haven't looked, but if you looked at a chart, I'm sure every year it's going up. But yeah, for a while, there was some debate. We'd get orders from the Human Services and we don't acknowledge these orders. So now they make sure that goes through the judge, and then that protects us.
Yeah.
If Judge signs it, then we're protected too more so. We do have a couple issues. Once they want us to pick somebody up and bring them to a bed, well, there's no bed available. So now what are we supposed to do with them? We can't put them in jail. So we've had a few of them issues, but that's a whole nother issue, but we've kind of deal with them one at a time. So it's a problem.
And if you do bring them to jail, you can't just kick them out.
No,
Some-
they're on a commit. So
Some
then-
jails they'll have long-term guests
Yeah,
because of that. But
yeah, we've had that. We've had people down in Knowles County on civil commits that there's no bed for, and we paid for 2 months of holding them. And that's another issue the sheriffs are trying to figure out how to, so, well, we shouldn't be holding these people. They're not in custody, so.
is there a time limit on these court orders or is there,
Not the ones we get for transports,
but you're committed for 2 months, 6 months?
till the person gets transported. That's our commit. Now, the civil commit, that's a whole different deal. That's through the court. I think they're committed until the doctor at the facility says they can be released. Could be a month, could be 5 years. I mean,
And we don't have to take care of them after they're released from that commitment?
No.
That's
But if they're at one facility and they have to be transferred to another facility, then we get another court order that we have to go do it. So nothing's changed. This is just, I think, that who's gonna pay for it. Putting that to rest, that sheriff's office is responsible for it.
So did you send a bill to the Southwest Health and Human Services?
We have, yes.
Okay.
We kind of all got together and did that just to make this point come to a head. I mean,
Mhm.
some people have been doing it for a couple of years and have got some payments back and some haven't. And the debate is, well, why should Health and Human Services pay for it if they're all, Rock County? Why should they pay for somebody from Brown County? Stuff like that. So
But it kind of runs into where I said that, you don't know how many you're gonna have if, whatever, Lyon County has way more than Pipestone County. Then if Health and Human Services pays for them, then we're sharing really
Right.
on Lyon County's portion.
if we
So
have
this,
one and they
this
have
way,
10,
this way, if each county's paying their own, then, we're paying our own, not somebody else's.
it comes out of the same county pot. It's just a matter of,
Right, otherwise,
budget.
the Health and Human Services, that discussion was, they'd have to raise their levy if they're gonna pay for them all.
Yeah.
So, and it's, same pot of money, yeah.
How is their levy figured out? By per capita?
Yeah, and I don't know the amount, but, yeah.
That's how they do that. And in theory,
Same formula for all the counties.
and in theory, it should have the same amount of transports needed per person or per 100 or per 1,000, but that's not always, theory doesn't always work.
You never know, yeah.
And it might get worse if the cannabis thing gets going.
So historically, how many, like, do you know how many had in it last year or
I'm guessing before,
real off?
not a real lot, but like I said, it takes all day and 2 people, it still adds up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In a vehicle, but I'm just guessing 4, but I can think of 3 or 4 off my head, so.
Is there any value to keeping track of that separately? You
We
don't-
do, I could pull it up, we have it all,
Okay, so you do have it recorded somewhere,
have it in our computer system.
but there isn't anything we can do about lessening that number either.
No. No,
Once it gets through that system and then the court judge orders, okay.
and Health and Human Services, we work really good with them. We understand their side of it too.
Mhm.
We're glad these people are getting help. Just a matter of who's paying for the transport. I mean, we encourage these holds and, I mean, by the time that point, they need some help, long-term help, so. Having run around the streets, not the answer either, so.
No. So what is our duty right now? It says action behind my thing. Is it,
Yes,
I put that there. I was expecting a letter from Health and Human Services from Beth that, to adopt a letter, that type of thing. I don't know. if
that
you
we
can
will
do
take
that or
care of
not.
our,
If that comes through, we'll put it on again as an action. item.
okay.
And our last meeting at Health and Human Services, well, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 of the counties verbally said that they're gonna pay it for themselves, but we hadn't really officially had a discussion on that we are going to, so I don't. I would guess they,
you wanna make
be
that
best to
action?
sign something and, but they were doing it verbally, so that we should go with that, so.
And nothing's gonna change for us, so he just wants them to bill in.
Yeah,
basically.
so just,
Once the people are committed somewhere, we do have to pay for that, don't we?
I'm sure, I don't know how that works, Steve, the state does that in the county, I don't know that answer.
that I don't know. Once they're committed to then they become part of the state
I
system.
think, kind of like prison, I
I
think.
don't
their
think the state covers that, do they?
I think that would it be Health and Human Services covering that? I can think, but I'm not positive either. So.
But you always hear them complaining, cause I mean, some of these facilities, they get huge money per day. You know, where sometimes it's like, you know. We're in the 2,000 a day. range.
2,500, that's the last number I saw.
I'll reach out and find out and let you know. See who pays for it once they get there. Unless it's through the court system or something like that too, which we don't know about. So it's very possible it's the state, because I don't recall seeing any major bills coming through for us keeping people in treatment facilities. I've not seen anything come through in any
I think they
warrants or
go through
anything
Health
like
and Human
that.
Services, but.
Yeah.
Or they are, or Health and Human Services, either the state or Health and Human Services. I made a note. I'll get a hold of Beth and find out.
Okay, do we take action? So that's done. If you get a letter from Beth or how would you like to?
Let's go ahead and take action on it. The Pipestone County will be responsible for transportation costs for the
So
civil commitment holds.
make that
You
motion.
wanna make that a motion?
Second.
Or a second? Give you a second to write it out.
Yeah.
I'd like to have you read it back to us.
I just don't have really good, but the Pipestone County will pay the transport costs for civil commitment holds.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Not carried.
Guys, if any other questions, just
Thank you.
Thanks. Any activity on your bids, Nick?
Yeah.
Nothing yet?
We, and, questions, which is no. The others. Jared's out there collecting. We have talked with our main.
Anything else come before this board?
This time, Mr. Chairman,
Declare a recess till 10:30. Smoke them if you got them.
correct, we are back.
It's 10:30. We'll come back in session.
Oh.
Been joined by Maine Sandy. You want to introduce who you brought with you? I don't think I've met her before.
Yes, this is Erin Jamison. And she is a new lady. She's the one we talked about. Yes, an assistant county attorney. Erin.
Come on up, sit in the chair.
she's a fine board member.
Sitting to Maine's chair.
Oh, Nick, she can say over here.
Sitting to Maine's chair.
Yeah.
Ask the
County attorney
boss.
chair. so.
Ask the boss. Huh?
2 years back, within me, my first term, I had a brand new chair brought in for me, and as time went, everybody else's chair started wearing out, and then the next time I came to a meeting, my chair was worn out, even though I never sat in it.
Secrets. You're telling secrets
Yeah,
now.
people can see her.
I wasn't ready for the paparazzi.
Nick, he's the county highway engineer.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Perfect. I'm Dallas Roskamp, Chair this year.
We've been.
Yes.
Luke Johnson.
Nice to meet you.
You see the missing Chris and Dan.
They're invisible today.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. I try.
We're ready?
All right.
Yep. 10:31, we're ready to go.
All right, this is for our second contract for 2024. It's got a completion date of 2025. I doubt any work will happen this year, but it is entirely possible, so. As you can see on the map, one of these projects is on our County Road 15, just south of Eye. One is for Troy Township, just south of their town hall. And the other is an extension on our County Road 25, where the county ditch runs through there, so. So we don't need to do any work in the water when we grade that road, so that'll save us some time there. All right,
That's the road we're gonna work on in a couple of years.
yep, that'll be we'll regrade it, widen it and pave it.
Yeah.
So. Let's see, Jared checked for bids. We have no more bids. I have 3 right here. First bid is Midwest Contracting out of Marshall. Their bid. $919,995.20. $919,995.20. Next bid is of A&C Excavating out of Marshall. A&C's bid. $960,209.20. $960,209.20. The last bid is from RNG Construction out of Marshall. RNG's bid is $1,081,918.20. $1,081,918.20. Engineer's estimate, $1,398,420. $1,398,420. Needless to say, I'm happy with the bids. Side note on this one, we got a different type of bond fund, I guess. It's a little different source and they require so two different certificates the contractors have to submit in order to execute the agreement on the grant. One's I'm drawing a blank on the names of them here. One's like a payment certificate and one's like some type of equitable workforce or something like that. So, did you get through the bonds or those?
Yeah, I went through the bonds.
Okay, those are
Those are fine.
good. Okay. So I would recommend award to the low bidder contingent on them completing their certificates with the state for to execute the bond agreement.
Make that motion.
Okay, is there support?
Second.
Any other discussion? We've used Midwest before.
Excuse me?
Have we used Midwest before?
Yes, we've used all three of these before. They're all good contractors.
No problems
so
with them.
No worries. Yep. Yep.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Carried. Bids awarded to Midwest Contrasting.
All right. That's it for me.
Nick, is it all right to call those contingent on bonding documents? Does that make sense? Is that what you called it? Or certain bonding
Certificate, I would say.
certification?
On bond required certificates. Yep.
One of those is the township cost. One of those is the township cost, not necessarily all our cost.
There's township bridge funds that we have for the big one for Sutter Township. I think the township's cost is capped at like $20,000, so it's a little bit of township money, but it's mainly special township bridge funds, I believe, for that
Yep.
one. Yep. All right. That's all I need. I'll notify the bidders.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jared, for delivering the bids.
Yeah.
Yes. Anything else to come before this board today?
Your adjourn.
Sir, support for that.
Nice to meet you.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Carried. We are adjourned.
Gotta go to work for a while, huh?